Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cut Shield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cut Shield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cut Shield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today. Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I've got the Fresh Coast, Kyle Chambers. How you doing today, brother?
Doing great. It's great to have you, or great to be here. Glad to get on the call and have a little discussion. It's been fun. I've been watching the podcast that you've been posting a lot lately, and it's cool to see what you guys are doing at Grove City. It's been a lot of fun to kind of watch the games and be able to share that with everybody. So excited to be here. Yeah, no, well, we're excited to have you, and we wanted to talk to you about the Fresh Coast team. You guys haven't played yet, right? Yeah, our first one is the first couple weeks of December here in Indy. Yeah, that's what I thought. I wanted to. Yeah, I was doing some research, and you're gonna have a little bit of a new look this year, aren't you? You got some little bit. We lost one of our guys that I've been playing with since I started kind of getting back into the MIHA scene with Derek Graham. He was kind of like one of the staples of, I feel like, T2 for quite a time there, and he just kind of got to the point now where he's got a couple kids and he lives up in Cadillac, way up in the kind of northern area. So just getting down here to get into games and things like that's just a lot. So so we missed him, but we gained a couple other guys. And then we had a guy on our team last year that really didn't get to play with us, Mac Bucard. He played with the Detroit Stars for a couple seasons, but he was injured a lot of last year. So we have him, and then we added a couple other guys. And we lost Chucky, our goalie, from last year, but we had a sub for one of our tournaments. Tyler Long is his name, and he plays at Bethel right now. Oh, nice. But he's going to be joining us this season for most of the tournaments. I think he's going to miss one just because he's got a college event. But so most of the core is the same. But we did lose a couple guys, and then we added a couple that have been playing with us up in the Detroit area for quite a while. So that's awesome. Yeah, because Bethel, I believe, is ranked number 2 in the country right now. Yeah, they're always pretty solid. I think it's just always been like them and Lindenwood kind of since the last, I don't know, a handful of years especially, but he's young, he's eager, which is a lot of fun, right? I'm obviously on the older side of things now, so it's always got to add a lot of the young guys, because I noticed a lot of these teams have gotten a lot more, a lot younger and a lot better. So it's definitely been fun to see. The league's definitely changed over the last, I'd say 4 or 5 years for sure. Yeah, so I've noticed that the quality of play has gone up drastically from the last couple of years, just even from the couple of years that I've been broadcasting with GCH. You got the team out of Cincinnati, you got the Buffalo New Era, got all of those teams in Detroit, and everybody just brings it, and the speed is so fast, and you guys are able to maneuver that puck around so well and your puck possession is, head and shoulders above a lot of teams, from what I've seen in the past. This year it's going to be interesting because, like you said, you got some new influx of players coming in. You had a couple players bounce out. I see you guys lost Francis to that Metropolitan Monopoly. He's always been one of the favorites of mine to watch, just because I played with him for so long. Yeah, he actually, so because we had the injury to one of our guys last year, he actually wasn't even originally on our roster, but having a relationship with him for numerous years, and playing with him on the Gong show for a couple seasons and things like that. I just sent him a text because we were missing guys one weekend, and then I think we ended up using him for like 3 or 4 of our events because we just ended up being short. And I mean, it's not a bad thing to have a guy like that can just jump right in and start playing.
And the crazy thing is that the kid loves to play hockey, no matter where it's at, or what he's doing. He's like, yeah, I'll be there. And then you can always count on him, even when you think that, man, how are you swinging this much hockey? And because like he travels, a lot for it. And
he's all over the place. Yeah, he's all over the place. I know he's right before he came to our last championships, and then right after that, I think he was going to. I think it was Europe for the Masters, and he's got like
Italy for the Masters, So I've actually got one of his teammates coming on the pod here pretty soon after Thanksgiving. Marty, I cannot pronounce his last name. It's Marty G is what I'll call him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know who that is. I don't know all of the guys on his team this time around, but yeah, we're excited. We we weren't able to get on any of the events here early just because a lot of guys were kind of traveling and things like that. So obviously, like you were mentioning, there's a lot of teams now that we have to look out for. I think we did a really good job against most of the teams. Last season we ran into Cincy a couple of times where we just weren't able to finish the job. We beat them early in the season, and then they got our number the rest of the year. And that Buffalo New Era team kind of came out of nowhere because we played them 2 or 3 times before, and we seemed to do pretty well with them. And then in that championship event, they kind of took over. So
I think they peaked at that championship weekend, which I thought was amazing because I had Roy and Dad Bod Todd on, and that was a fun episode. Those guys are a class act, and I enjoyed that conversation with those two. And and I did not see, from watching them throughout the season, I did not expect them to come to championships and play as well as they did. I had pegged the Fresh Coast and Cincy to be in that finals. But but that's why you play the game. It can be so many different aspects of things. I mean, look at Chicago Triple P and the Fort Wayne. They were going undefeated, and then just a minor tweak with their goalie, and they suffer 2 defeats that weekend, and then they come back at championships and basically dime everybody. So I mean, it's anybody's guess, especially at that T2, because everybody is so equal and can play each other very, very tough. Like you said, you had Cincy Kings, which are now the Cincy Roller Ducks. Buffalo New Era, the Sixers, which were, I cannot remember. I don't remember.
Team. Yeah, and then obviously the Smoke.
Smoke. Always dangerous, yeah.
Yeah, and then this year they've even added some weapons. They added Corey Hodge and they added Garrett Ross, who's, in my opinion, in this side of the state, those 2 guys are, obviously up there to the top. So they're adding those guys along with, Schwartz and all the other guys they already have. So that team's always somebody to look out for. So it's been interesting because obviously I've been doing this for a long time now, right? I was on the Saints even before that. When Staple first started the league, I was playing, maybe not as consistently, but I was playing a lot of tournaments, and it's crazy to see the progression of the league. As far as just the quality of play, I feel like at first people kind of just laughed at the league as far as it was just kind of like that, like, oh, well, it's just the MIHA tournament or whatever. Like, but now I think it has a real credibility to it, right? There's a lot of guys that you see in the pro tournaments, that are coming and playing. Granted, maybe each team has like 1 or 2 of those guys compared to some of those, Narch or Tours or something where they're all on one team. But yeah, like you're saying, I think the competitiveness, guys are taking it seriously, which is a lot of fun. But probably 5-6 years ago when we were on the Mid-Michigan Saints, the T2 division, it was kind of like we were always winning every tournament. But when it came to championships, it was just anybody's game, which is even more true now than it was then. So,
which makes watching our broadcast even more exciting, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Another one of those, because I forgot, that's right, you played with the Giraffes there for a little bit.
Yeah, the Drafts, and then I took some years off, and then kind of got back into it with the Saints. And like I said, I don't know for sure, but I would have to say that I've won my fair share of T2 championships over the years, and I've never won the actual championship. So I've won a lot of tournaments, but never the finals. So, always had good teams, but just never been able to do it.
Yeah, because you've started out, right way back at the start of it, which was that 2011?
I think it was 2000. It must have been
2011 to 2010
or 11. Something right in that area.
Somewhere right in there. Yeah, because I remember Patelli, our Michigan Thunder coach, was just, he was so mad at Staple when Staple decided to break away with the DC Filibusters. And did you play on the Filibusters team at all?
I never played on there. I did like kind of think about it for a while there, because I know that he had made his own team, and obviously then everything kind of happened with that league where he kind of split off and made his own league because he was so mad about it. So, I mean, I was kind of along for the ride, but I don't think I didn't really ever play with that team. But I think at the time I was still at Grand Valley for most of it. So
you missed out on a little bit of fun there. That was a lot. It was fun, but I understood where Staple was coming from once the Thunder coach took off, and then I was like, I kind of stepped up a little bit to try to help out and get things going, and then had an issue with the commissioner of MLRH. Loved the owner, Bill Rowdy. He was great, but then I had a little bit of an issue with the commish. I did reach out to him to see if he would do an interview with me after we quashed our beef. And he was just not interested, because I know he's out in Hawaii at the moment.
Tough.
So, well, I mean, it is what it is. Mean, hey, if you don't want to be on the pod, you don't want to be on the pod. It's all good. I tried to get Pat Lee on, and he's just like, I just don't have time. I would love to, but I just don't have time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things where it is what it is. But we love bringing the world of inline hockey to everybody. So. So tell us a little bit about Kyle Chambers, how you got involved in hockey, what grew your love for the sport, and you must play some softball or something from time to time, or is it just strictly just hockey for you?
Growing up, I played ice hockey my whole life. It kind of started early on. Grew up in the Indiana, Fort Wayne area actually, and moved to Michigan, kind of continued on that journey of travel hockey and all that stuff. And then when I went to Grand Valley, originally I was thinking about just playing club ice hockey, but just with the amount of time it was going to take, obviously I was going there for school and kind of just decided not to do that. So just actually was playing intramural roller hockey. And like some of the guys that were on the Grand Valley roller hockey team kept bugging me about coming out to tryouts. And then I didn't go to tryouts, and they kept bugging me about coming out for a practice or whatever. And at the time I didn't really know anything about roller hockey. Maybe I'd always played street hockey, and in my basement I had, my wheels on all the time, but went out for a practice and then kind of just from there took off with it. So then, that kind of took over. And when I moved to the east side of the state for work, I just kind of reached out to the rinks that were out here at the time and kind of just got on a team. And from there just kind of, got to know guys. And then it's kind of funny, when I came to the Michigan Saints actually just happened to know a lot of guys from Kalamazoo that I played ice hockey with that were already playing roller. Didn't even know that they were playing. And we just kind of all reconnected. And then, now I still play, roller and ice over here. And just kind of, it's obviously my first passion. But I'd like to maybe get out on the golf course a little bit more and things like that. But now with a kid and things like that, it's a little bit harder to manage that time. So hockey is my main choice to kind of, get out of the house and enjoy something. So, but yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and I don't. Not many people realize that once you can have all of you can have like the worst day ever, and then you lace up your skates, you're in the locker room, you're shooting the shit with the boys, and then all of a sudden that weight of what's going on outside disappears for the hour or an hour
Right.
and a half, and you just get to focus on living in the moment. And not many people get a chance to experience that in their, not, I don't want to say day-to-day life, but in their life.
Right.
Where it's one of those things where, hey, I get to take an hour and a half because you get 15 minutes to get ready, 15 minutes to
Right.
get undressed, just to decompress. But then you get that hour to play, and that's just for you. You get to focus on what's going on, what's happening in front of you, making those passes, making those plays, taking those shots. It's just one of those things that it really helps center you. So that way, when you get done, you lace up, you take everything off, throw everything in your bag. Hopefully, it's a Conway and Banks bag. Yeah, nice little plug there.
Yeah, there you go.
And then as you're taking your cut shield socks off, you're just like, okay, hey, I can take on all of that responsibility that I need to take care of.
Right.
For the rest of for your family, which is it's pretty important. Those mental health breaks for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. It's always been a nice avenue to get out and kind of take your mind off whatever's going on. But I joke with my wife all the time, but obviously all of our friends that we have are all basically people that I've met through hockey, and she's become friends with their wives, and it's just fun to have that avenue to kind of build relationships, and I feel like it's a way for people to get together and do something, but also at the same time a good reason to be able to find new relationships and build friendships that last forever. So like I said, I reconnected with quite a few guys that lost connection over the years, and it's just like you pick back up and you act like you haven't even it just was like yesterday when you saw them or something like that. So it's been fun.
Exactly. Yeah, I reached out to probably one of your old Saints teammates, James Bloomfield, not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I said, hey man, I'm gonna get you on the pod. I know he's expecting a baby too, by the way.
Yeah, they just had it actually.
Oh, did they? Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to reach out because I knew it was coming up when I had asked him if he was interested. And we're gonna do a foot health episode, and the importance of keeping our feet healthy with after the years of abuse of skates and everything.
Yeah.
And what we can do to help minimize injuries or foot injuries as well. So I'm excited for that episode as soon as he gets a chance to get some time.
Yeah, one of his I guess colleagues, it's like his general manager or whatever, Mike Vandenberg is on our fresh coast team still. Yeah, he's one of the guys that, like I said, he and I go back to before high school days. We used to play against each other in Kalamazoo, and then played against each other in high school in ice hockey, and then kind of reconnected out here. So it's been fun. Mike
is one of those guys that I love to watch because he just puts his head down and not in a bad way. I will say not in a bad way, but he just goes and he skates his ass off. And him and James both, I loved it because they were just like, you know what? I don't care what's going on. I'm the one that's going to get to that puck first.
Yep.
I'm the one that's going to put that puck in the net. In Mike's case, it doesn't always happen, but he does not give up, and I love the guy for it. And he's always a pleasure to watch. And he, him and James are two guys that I'll forever be grateful for having them, to play with and to have them play for me. So
yeah, they're fun. We had some good times on the Saints when we were all together. Throw in a couple other guys like Derek Graham and a couple other guys that we had on that team that we had some fun on those weekends. That was some good times on the rink and off, which obviously things like that are why MIHA's fun, right? It gives you an opportunity to get out of the house for a few days and kind of get together with your friends and kind of play hockey, but at the same time, catch back up, because obviously everyone's busy now, right?
Yep.
That's what's kind of crazy about our team now is we have myself and Vandenberg and this Sandberg, who's another guy on our team. We're all a little bit older, and then the rest of our team's kind of like, 5-6 years younger than us. So they've all still have the energy that maybe we don't have as much, but we had to retool a little bit just to kind of get a little younger, I feel like, because if we had our same team from a few years back, we definitely would be on the older end of teams, which is
but I
crazy how young
you guys would hold your own. You guys would hold your own for sure.
Yeah, but
yeah. So cool. So now tell me about your favorite hockey memory, whether it be ice hockey, roller hockey, seeing hockey for the first time with a family member. So let's hear it, man.
Yeah, I think for me it's got to be when I was playing roller at Grand Valley. We won the national championship. It was a pretty awesome time, right? We were one of the better teams in Division II that year, and we made it to the championships over in Philadelphia. And each game we kind of just took control of. And then when we got into the playoff round robin or the playoffs, our second game, we actually went into a shootout or an overtime, and then we went into a shootout, and we ended up. It wasn't a shootout. We right before regulation, we were tied, and a kid on our team threw a stick kind of at the puck, and they called a penalty shot, and our goalie ended up making a save, and then we ended up winning in overtime. So I apologize for that, but so that kind of just propelled us, and then we ended up playing. It's kind of funny. We were in Philadelphia, but we ended up playing Central Michigan in the championship game, which was obviously just down the road from where we were. But yeah, that was an awesome experience. One that I had won a lot of things growing up playing travel hockey and things like that, but that one definitely sticks out as one of the highlights.
That was and Staple was in net for you, or was that?
No, it was just it was the year after Staple. It was my second year. We had a bunch of guys show up to our tryout. We actually had like 50 some kids show up to tryouts, and we had to cut a lot of kids. Yeah. It was a crazy year, and a lot of guys came in trying out for ice hockey and things like that didn't make it, and then we got them to come to the tryouts, and we just had a really good. Our B team, we used to have great scrimmages with them every day when we were at practice and stuff, because they were just as good as a lot of teams we were playing. So yeah, I think that helped us a lot.
Yeah, and then you guys played out of Rivertown Sports in Granville, and I remember we would get done with reffing, or I would get done reffing for the night, and all of a sudden you just see more kids coming in. I'm going, man, it's like 10 o'clock at night, man. Like,
we had late,
here,
Yeah, we had late practices. Yeah, and we had the guy that ran the club was real intense. So we did 2 or 3 practices a week, and it was quite a bit compared to a lot of other, club roller hockey teams, but definitely fueled us for success for sure. So
yeah, and you guys did a really good job playing, and then of course your battles with Central Michigan and Western at that point too.
Yeah, and actually that's really funny. So we actually played Cincinnati a lot, and actually a couple guys on the Cincinnati team, Chris Weiss, one of them, he's now on the Cincy team. So yeah, it's kind of funny that years later there's still some guys that I've played against, but yeah, we had some good teams in our division, and it's kind of wild to actually see the club roller hockey now is like non-existent. There's like maybe 6 or 7 Division I teams in the whole country, and Division II has 20 teams, whereas when we were playing it was probably 30 teams in D1, probably 50 or so in D2, and D3 had a ton. I don't know, it's just kind of it's weird to see the sports kind of falling off on that end.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the recession era. I know we had talked a little bit about it earlier on the pod with who was it? Maybe it was Vinny Free. To be honest with you, maybe that episode hasn't dropped yet. But yeah, I talked to him a little bit about it. I think if it wasn't him, I know it was maybe Etan as well. I think that one might be that one dropped last week. I think I can't remember. Life's a blur when you have a baby. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, Cool. So what do you expect from this year's MIHA team, bud? Because you guys you've had a chance to see a couple of T2 tournaments, or weekends. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the standings or anything like that yet.
Yeah. I followed this past weekend. Actually, I was kind of checking it out. I know since he kind of seems like they kind of dominated the weekend, and it's kind of to be expected. I think their team is very solid. But yeah, I think we're going to be in a good spot again. I think we have, the majority of our guys are the same as we had last year. We added another defenseman, Jonathan Waring. He's played a lot of high level roller, and that should be a good addition to our team. And then, like I said, we had Mac, who was out for most of the season last year, who I play against him a lot over here on Thursdays and things like that. And he's a very, very good player. So I think we're going to definitely have a great team again. I think, I think if we do what we're supposed to, I think we'll have a great shot again this year to kind of, be in that contention for the championships, and just looking forward to getting out there and kind of getting going. I think the league is deeper than it's probably ever been as far as T2 goes. Obviously with the smoke and Cincy and, Buffalo, but then, Chicago is never a team to the Windy City, even though they have like the same core, just kind of like my team has always been for years, but they're always that team that, with Bond and a bunch of those guys, they can come out of nowhere. And I know that, the other Detroit teams like the Gloctopus and, some of these other guys, now the Fuel has a team. So yeah, it should be interesting to see.
They flew out real well in that first championship.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how we stack up. I know a lot of our guys play against and with these guys all the time. So, it's fun. It's been definitely an exciting season, and we're excited to get out there. And, Indianapolis will be fun to get going. And I know I think there's like 6 or 7 teams in that one, which is fun. And then we have a couple Detroit events back to back, which obviously those are nice because we're home. And then I think we play in Pittsburgh this year.
Oh, cool. So you're going to be down there taking on the Grove City Thunderbirds.
Yeah. I think there's like 6 or 7 teams in that one too. So that's good. I know sometimes in the past, there's always been hard to get, teams to travel to those locations. And I think actually I had tried to get into like the Fort Wayne event just because my family lives there, but I think he had already kind of filled that one up. So yeah, we're in the Pittsburgh one. We wanted to spread it out last year. What kind of hurt us, I think, a lot was we finished it in like February. Then we didn't play again until, May. Mm-hmm. So we really wanted to try to make sure that we played events kind of more spread out. We had some guys on our team that are accountants and things like that. So we always tried to like squeeze in a few before tax season just to kind of, make sure that those guys can play. But I think this year we decided to at least play like into March, April, kind of just to make sure that we didn't have that long gap.
Yeah, that's probably it. It's, the way I look at it is your first one can be a throwaway because you're not sure what to expect with the team. But then, your second and third should be, a couple, I don't want to, probably, 3 to 6 weeks apart. And then you have your final tune up, to kind of where you can kind of gel everything together at that last one, Yeah.
I mean, we have some advantage because a lot of our guys are all playing at the JCC up here in Detroit. So, we have
you're just outside of Livonia, right?
Yeah. Yep. I'm in Livonia area, and a lot of the guys kind of live up in this area. So we actually just tonight we had a game. A lot of the guys that I play with on the Fresh Coast play in the league. We all kind of spread out, but so we get some familiarity and some playing with each other, but it definitely changes things when you're actually in like a tournament compared to just playing on a rec league for sure. But yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm excited to see how you guys do in your first weekend here in a couple of weeks. And, I'm looking forward to it. And I know you're excited for it because you're like, I'm ready to play. And so which teams are you excited to be playing against? Which teams are you kind of like, ooh, I really want to play them, but not this early in the season because I want to get some W's to make sure that we make the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play anybody. And, last year, I think we kind of ended up being in a lot of tournaments with like Cincy and the Smoke and Buffalo New Era and stuff. So I'm excited to play those guys, but we didn't get to play, even though we were in a lot of the same events with like the A team or like, some of those newer teams, maybe the Monopoly or the Fuel, a couple of those teams that are new. So it'll be fun to kind of hopefully, play some of those teams. I know Grove City has a team now, which I don't think they had a T2 team last year. I know they always have like the Pittsburgh Shockwave that's been in and out a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's the same kind of guys. But yeah, so, I think this first event, I didn't see the full team list, but I don't think that like Smoke or the couple other teams that we usually play are there. So that'll be kind of fun to get into some different games with some different teams and kind of see how those teams stack up against, some of the ones that I already know and that we've played against a lot. So should be exciting to kind of, take some new challenges.
Cool. Yeah. Well, all right, bud. Well, I won't take any more of your time. I think, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited to see how you guys do here in a couple weeks, and hopefully you guys come out on top. But you guys got to play the game, and you guys come out unscathed. Let's put it that way. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. It'd be one of those things where getting hurt at our age these days is not fun because it takes a lot longer to recover.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for setting this up, and we're excited to get going here. And are you guys going to be at the Indy tournament? I know that you guys usually kind of travel to most of them, but I think
I believe they
December
are.
I think it's December 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. I remember Sean telling me, he's like, "Hey man, I got a little more time. We don't have to broadcast until December. So I have a feeling they're gonna be there for that." I decided this year because of the baby, I had to kind of step back a little bit. So my focus is gonna be on getting some the podcast going, so that way we have at least a content piece a week, if not more. I know there's going to be a shout out for every event it's going to be dropping, and then I'd like to do an interview every week from here on out. And I'm going to try to hit up every team as much as I can. I know there's a lot of teams to talk to.
Yeah.
So I got to get going on that. And then, but yeah, I'm excited to keep bringing the GCH podcast to you guys. And, and I love that you guys enjoy watching the shows and love watching the content. So
yeah, definitely. Well, I appreciate it. And, I'm sure we'll be talking sometime throughout the year, but, good luck with everything on the podcast. And, we're excited.
You too. And, we will catch you on the flip side.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Yep. Bye.